Hey guys, this is Michael with Restart, and today we are going to be doing a Coraline drawing with our Art Snacks Plus box from September. The first item we have is the Lyra Aqua Brush Duo Markers. There's a set of 6, and obviously they're duo, two-sided. Water-based ink, fine tip, and extra fine bullet tip and brush tip. Then we have our Derwent line makers set of 3. I did this in a little bit weird order for some reason, but this is the paint on white mixed media. Who's that by? Clairefontaine mixed media 7x10. I really like this paper actually. It's a wet to dry media, although not too wet. Heavyweight 250 GSM, 20 sheets. Bright white, no warping or buckling, although I had a little bit of problem with that, so I don't know, it was good. And then we got our Coom magnesium long point pencil sharpener, which I kind of love. I like the Coom stuff anyways, so I was excited to get that. Of course, we have our extreme sour lemon candy, which you always have to have. My daughter hadn't taken it yet. She usually does. And our sticker, which I had a hard time focusing, but look how pretty it is. I have so many of those. Oh, there you go. Look. I need to put them somewhere. I haven't figured out where to put them. Maybe on my computer. I'm not entirely sure. So I'm going to show you how to sharpen this Shinhan Art Touch Drawing Pencil. And I'm going to cut because it took forever to do it. But look at how beautiful. And it did. I was able to get it longer than this. But, just for, sake of the video, I didn't want you to have to sit there and watch me sharpen a pencil forever. But it's a good pencil. It's lightweight. Smear-proof lines. So on and so forth. Then we've got the Tombow Fudenosuke. I can never say these. Twin tip brush pen, which is black and gray, and I love this. This was like my new favorite pen. It is a staff favorite. It's got the it's good for hand lettering and illustration, firm and flexible, fine and medium strokes, really great. And then the Montana acrylic marker, 2mm acrylic paint. Highly pigmented, matte, vibrant coverage, refillable, nib is replaceable, all of those things. Supposedly, it will last a lifetime. You can see here, I am just getting it started. And then, of course, you get your little information sheets. Okay, our first thing is the Tombow Fudenosuke twin tip brush pen. Retails for $5.49. It's got black ink on one end and gray ink on the other, and it's a really nice pen. I actually really like how you can press down pretty firmly, but you can also do kind of thin lines if you like. As you can see, it's flexible. It flows nice. It might be my new favorite pen. Honestly, everything that is Fudenosuke or Fudeno something, I typically like. Not sure why. I do a lot of ink drawings, and I tend to pull them out a lot. So I like them a lot, and it's a staff favorite as well. It is waterproof once dry, and I will pull some water out here in a little bit, and you'll see kind of what it does. You can definitely, when it's wet, still use it to blend or to put a little bit of, shadow in certain areas. Of course, you can hatch and all the regular things you can do with pens with it. I just like having the black and the gray together. I did a little cartoon portrait kind of thing after this, and it worked really well. And then, of course, the Shinhan Art Touch Drawing Pencil. Somewhat smudge proof. I mean, they're all somewhat smudge proof, right? I mean, maybe not. I don't know. It's kind of smudged, honestly. It says smudge proof, but they all sort of smudge. Anyways, you could blend with it, I guess. It's a good pencil. I have a million pencils. It's a great pencil. And then of course you have the the Magnesium Long Point Pencil Sharpener, which retails for $195. Oh, the drawing pencil $160, and I already kind of talked a little bit about the pencil sharpener. The Derwent line maker I did not talk much about because we kind of went through it quick, but the set of 3 retails for $10.99. Super fine, free flowing fine liners, consistent lines, permanent fast drying pigment ink. You are able to use them with water. You'll see kind of how I do that. Once they're dry, they're pretty much waterproof. We got the 0.1 mil, 0.3, and 0.5. So 3 different nib sizes. Yeah, it's great for doing external lines, internal lines, details, things like that. So it's a good little set. I think it's a pretty good little, decent little set. Then we have the Montana. Is that where I go next? I can't remember. I went like all over the place. Yeah, see, I'm like, oh, these are the pluses. But actually, the Montana acrylic marker was in the regular Art Snacks box. And the 2 items that were in the Art Snacks Plus box were the paper and the Lyra Aqua brush pens. So I got confused for a minute. Okay, give me a break. Anyways, this is the Montana 2 mil. $4.95 is what it retails for. Handy little tool, goes on any surface, water-based. I got a lot of use out of this on some of my drawings. It did not go through, bleed through, which is great. But I like this because you can use it with water just like acrylic paint, and it's fantastic. So I used it more like just as paint rather than a marker. I just don't use those kind of things very often, so I have to find ways to use them, which I love to do. This is part of the plus, this in the paper. These are the Lyra Aqua Brush Duo markers. I got a set of 6. The sets retails for $15. And they have a flexible brush tip on one end, an extra fine bullet tip on the other, water-based ink, bright and intense. I like the pastel tones. I think they're super pretty. I like playing with them, although they weren't as, what's the best way? They weren't as like juicy as I tend to like my watercolor pens, but they are useful. So if you're somebody that just likes a marker kind of brush pen, this is a great option. It didn't blend super well. It did go over top of all these items. It didn't blend super well with the acrylic paint marker, but it did do pretty well on top of everything else, which you would sort of expect, right? With anything that's watercolor. It didn't even really move the pencil, which was nice. I did end up loving the flesh tint, and I did use every single color in my drawing. And that was not an easy task. When I was looking at like ideas of what I wanted to draw, I knew it had to be something that was a little bit, like I like darker things. So and it's all, also almost Halloween. So I'm like, okay, I want something that is darker, but I've got these like pastel colors. So just doll came to mind. And then I thought, I have a 6-year-old and a 7-year-old who love Coraline. I'm like, oh my God, it has to be Coraline. I'll probably do a mini video too on Coraline, just because, if you want to skip through all this, you can, and just watch Coraline. And I think, I'll have to put a time marker as to when that starts at the beginning, so you can skip this if you're not interested in this part of it. But as you can see, you've got like smalt blue, glacier blue, aquamarine, light yellow, light violet. They blend well together, but they need to be wet. I noticed that if I had one dry a little bit and I tried to blend them, they did not blend. They're not alcohol markers, so they're not going to blend like that. The water did move them, but as you can see, not a whole heck of a lot. I got a lot more. So this is me trying to see if everything's waterproof, and it is. Once it's dry, it's all waterproof. There's water on this brush, but you can see I don't get a lot of movement from the Lyra Aqua brushes either, and they're water-based. But if I wet it or I use just the ink from inside of it, I was able to get a nice little, movement on it. So this is why I do this, because when I'm doing the drawings or painting, even for the video or even later on, I have these little sheets to remind me, oh, this is how this works, or this is how this works. I've been doing this now for like a couple years, and I have a lot of tools. And so I'm like, oh, well, I need this thing to do this. And, but this is, so as you can see, it's not waterproof until it's dry, which is fine. That's usually how it is. but you can use it both ways, which I find very interesting and very nice. So you'll see here, I'm trying the Derwent line maker. Sorry, I keep wanting to say line marker, but it's line maker. So I got one of them is, the Tombow is a little cooler, and the Derwent line maker is a little warmer. So it's got a little bit more like red, orangey tones to it. And you can see that when they're put next to each other. So again, even though it's a black marker versus a black marker, you're still getting different results. And here's the most amazing thing, the Montana acrylic marker, which again, it's acrylic paint, so you can't really go wrong. My dad's in the background coughing, just so you know, we share an office. So if you hear him, I'm sorry, it's okay. It's cute. He's got his headphones on. So anyhow, I just played. I played with all these different colors. The brush didn't come with the set. I got the brush from a different set, our ArtSnacks box. I don't remember what it is, but it's a square brush, which I like to use a lot. It creates good lines. You can get some cool little like petal techniques and things like that. But really, I just go through and make a huge mess and sort of play with whatever I have, in my box and see what it does. And this little area here is I think it's the glacier blue and the small blue, and I'm blending it. And then I think I also blend the acrylic paint with this. So I was trying to see if those two items would blend together. So I've got the light yellow, the blue, and of course the acrylic paint, which just way overpowered everything. But you could blend those two together. So you could use them in conjunction or next to each other to get, that really cool like little blend. And that's what gave me the idea to do Coraline. So I did the drawing ahead of time. And the reason I did that was not because I didn't want you guys to see me draw it. I just didn't want the video to be super, super long. So I'm coloring it in. And even though it did come with a pencil, I just felt like this box in particular was much more about all these markers and colors and line making items than, even though it had a pencil, they kind of all come with pencils. So the way I drew her is I had a photo reference, and I just, I didn't copy it verbatim, but I sort of did. I kind of wanted to put, if you guys know Coraline at all, there's a little phrase called "be careful what you wish for" on it. But we'll just call the painting "be careful what you wish for" because I never put it on there. But trying to get that flesh tone, as you can see, I did not have very much water on this brush, a tiny bit to blend it. And that paper pilled so quickly. So I would not use this, even though it says it's heavy and it'll hold water. As soon as I put more than 2 layers on it, that was it. And I had a really, really hard time. The good thing is I wanted her to look a little creepy and a little bit, kind of pilly, almost like a doll. So it worked. But if I was trying to get something really smooth, definitely not. It was just pilling up everywhere, and it was very tricky to work with. So I did end up having to do mostly 1-2 layers on every area except for around her face, which I worked very hard on. I had a flesh tint, but the flesh tint was a little bit light and a little bit pink. So I layered that with like some blues and some greens to create more of a dimension, more dimension in her skin and stuff. And then this is where I fell in love with this, the Fudenosaki. I can't say it. I make fun of me all you want, but the Fudenosaki twin tip was great because doing the skirt or getting, like, I had one tool that I could get, a light gray, a darker gray, black. I could get different widths of lines. And then of course, if I wanted a thinner line, which I did, on the insides, on some of the details, I ended up going to the Derwent line maker. So, I'll let you guys kind of watch this and you can see what tools I'm using now that I've gone through it, and enjoy the little beautiful Coraline video, and I'll see you towards the end. Okay guys, so I hope you have enjoyed this painting of Coraline. As you can see, I used some green to make her face not quite so orange, and her hands. I used the pinks and the purples and the blues for her eyes, and making sure to always add those little details around the hand that's coming down, splatter painting the background. The shadows and the details is what really made this come together. I had many blues and greens, so I was able to put some contrast in her hair, and then just utilizing some water and some of the ink from the pens to create this sort of mottled background with the splatter paint. It also gave me the opportunity to put some shadows in and to make it look more finished. I hope you guys loved this. If you have any questions or concerns, let me know, and I will see you on the next one.